Well, it looks like we have got back on the air again here at WNOV, and we are holding it down again for Wisconsin
They let us
Voices.
back in.
They let us back in. You're on Be a Voice Radio with Brian Sanders, and
Joe Dre.
we are two of the mighty few of Wisconsin Voices team. Do want to shout out the team early and get that out the way in a righteous way. Shout out to Mika Vukovic over there, Nicole Winters. I also want to shout out Latoya White, or whichever Latoya we may have, but mainly Latoya White. Want to shout out Shanita as well, and Angelique.
Did we get Nisha?
And of course, the newest to the crew,
Yeah.
Nisha. Look like we got a hazmat response over there at the park at Maitland Park near 13th and Ramsey. Anybody over there on that side of town? Which I don't know too many of you that may be over there right now, but looks like they got a breaking news hazmat report right now over there. Yeah, South Side. We got a lot of things going. Look, they found some barrels in the woods or something like that. So.
I guess some illegal dumping of some sort.
Exactly what it looks like. Somebody rolled some bad boys out there. Like it'll take a while before they find them.
I tell you, they find them. That's a big fine.
Ooh,
that is a huge fine.
Right, because you know what they're gonna do. They're gonna trace it back.
That's EPA fines and whatnot. You getting into that? That's not good.
Yeah, right. You over here, and especially if it's a national park. Look at this guy. They already got a guy right here.
He saw it all.
He's like, man, look, there you go. A brother walking through the woods, and they got a brother on the south side walking through the woods, y'all. If y'all looking at Channel 12 real quick, they got a brother reporting it. Shout out Jaron as well. That's a cool guy right there. So this morning we just looking at the change in the weather, y'all. We still getting blessed with some decent weather, but y'all already know. Think about for now, but this is nicer than what it usually would be. Well, I'll take it because I'm looking at just how last night could have been a really bad snowstorm.
Oh yeah,
it would have been Is it snow going like crazy on Thursday?
That's what they're saying. Yeah, they're saying some snow coming either late Wednesday night into Thursday, and then Thursday night as well. So
because that last night would have been at least 4 or 5 inches, at least 4 or 5 inches.
It was coming down hard.
Yeah, and I was chilling for most of that. I'm like, man, I'll take it. I'll take this right now. I was looking at a lot of people I personally know. They took a little break from this Wisconsin weather. There's a few people that went to cities like countries actually. Well, we got some people that went to like Kona, Hawaii, I knew, and got a few that's in Miami this weekend, or just getting back from Jamaica, like
I'm
the
jealous.
last few hours, Puerto Rico, all and guess what? They're all women.
Yeah.
The guys do not take trips like they're supposed to. And man, what do you think about this? This is just a little call in amongst a couple questions I want to ask guys this morning. Do the men that are listening and think about the past, whether you're in your 60s, 50s, 40s, 30s, or 20s, do you feel like you take enough vacations? Do you get enough time for yourself? Do you get enough time, or is it hard to put those guy trips together? Because what I'm seeing is the women are just coordinating these trips. And Jermaine, I'm sure you've seen it. Carvey, I'm sure you've seen it as well. Joe, you've seen this.
Yep.
The women are just really good at coordinating these trips against each other. And maybe it's a lot of women who don't like going with anybody. I know a lot. Some of these people, they did go on trips by themselves, or they went solo, and then they linked up with some people. But man,
I think there's probably a lot of reasons for that, in my opinion. But I want to hear what Jermaine has to say.
Yeah, I can think of a lot too, for real. But Jermaine, what are you thinking? Do the men get enough vacations?
I don't think that the guys do enough as far as guys trips. There's some reasons behind it.
Yeah.
But
bite your tongue, man. Go ahead, keep it.
No,
keep it
man. It's
Carvey getting to that age where they got to start taking them trips. He right there where, Carvey, you about to hit that 21 soon. Because you 20 now, right, Carvey? Oh, you 19?
Yeah.
Oh, 19. Okay. But he's still in that range where them trips, where you still take them trips, and
I could assist Jermaine on that.
You got a mic? You got a mic over there? Can we hear him?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was gonna say, I feel like men don't take trips, or probably don't plan trips with each other, because men, we all deal with our situation. So sometimes that can inflict our environment, and us as men, we don't like well, this is my point of view, but us as men, we kind of don't like going to the next man, about nothing like personal. So
it's more like an ego.
It's like an ego thing. So if you really ain't got no genuine friends, you won't see yourself like going on no trip with no people.
Yeah.
And I think relationships between men and women are different.
Yeah,
it's
sure.
just way different. Women will can sit and really sometimes pour their feelings out, where men kind of clam up a lot more and are a little bit less willing to express themselves, I guess.
Yeah, I think it's more of a ego macho thing. And on top of that, if you haven't built that relationship over the years, nowadays going out of town with somebody who you just met, that's your guy, you like, man, I don't even know you like that.
And I ain't even thinking about it from that tip. I was just thinking about, your homeboys, compadres, your guys, or even just the ones that's kind of like two groups removed. That's that's solid. It's hard. I got one story. I remember we were supposed to go with a group of guys one time. We were supposed to go to Atlanta. This is just Atlanta, and most of them guys kind of spread out now. They got families, majority of them, and it was getting to like the last few days of the trip, and all of a sudden, last minute, they're like, "Man, we ain't got the credit card for the rental. Can we use your credit card for the rental?" No, I'm using my credit card down there, for the little stuff I need. And this is an emergency card. So y'all told me about this trip. I was just coming to, hop in the whip and help drive and, turn up. But y'all didn't put the whole responsibility on me. So that little things like that happen with guys' trips. But they also happen with the women trips. One place I always hear the worst women's stories of traveling is, you said Cancun? I hear Miami. My sister even got one. I told my sister about the trips of Miami before she even went on that Miami trip. And then you started hearing the Miami horrors of Milwaukee trips of people going and people not having the money and people disappearing for hours with random strangers and, things like that get, that dopamine and serotonin release that you get on these trips and vacations. Sometimes people can't take that release, and it makes them, that reasoning, decision making part of the brain just goes and gets fried because they're out of town. And then some people clam up and shut down because they're not used to certain surroundings. I've seen both with people on trips. They even don't know how to handle themselves out of town, or they've clammed up and then we're like, I just want to be in my room. Like, you are not at home.
Well, on the other side of that coin, Brian, we started the conversation talking about do men take enough vacations? But how does that affect mental health? How does that affect when you don't take those vacations? The burnout that you feel, the constant feeling of responsibility weighing on your shoulders, and that never that chance to, like you're saying, and really go out there and just kind of let yourself go a little bit. I think that's really important to not only men, but everyone's mental health, just to get that break away, whether it's, work or family or whatever you need to do. I think it's really, really important for our mental health to make sure we're taking those breaks.
Yeah. So with that being said, we're going to push not only the men, but everybody. If it's a time for you, or if you're just hearing this and it's like the confirmation you needed to go ahead and take that trip, go ahead and take that trip. Let us know where you're going. 414-444-5250, 414-444-5253. Let us know where that next trip is, or where that next trip you plan. Take that mental health break for yourself. You're working hard. You're taking care of your family. You didn't help raise 2 generations, or you're helping raise 2 generations behind you right now. Go ahead and take that time for you, yourself, and your loved ones for real, because I think it's important that we all do that.
Especially with the holidays right around the corner, a very stressful time for a lot of folks.
Yes, call those travel agents. Don't avoid that person no more. Go ahead and see if they can do that trade, that trip for $500 real quick, and tell them you're gonna put $50 down right now.
There you go. There you go.
Got $50. Take that $50 you was gonna spend on them chicken and all that stuff, and go ahead and take you a trip and get that chicken at the resort. Sometimes it's real good too.
Oh yeah, all food.
So Joe,
yes sir,
man, we got some topics today, huh?
We got a couple, yeah.
So what you thinking, man? What's going on in the world, man? Wisconsin Voices is always in tune or tapped in. We having these crazy sit downs in the office where we discuss the things that's going on in the community, and not only just what's happening locally, which we'll be talking about as well, probably a little bit later off after break, but just the things that Joe has seen on his end with the Tuesday political topics. What you got for us today?
I want to start out with a little bit of good news today.
All right, let's do it.
So yesterday, Milwaukee County Executive David Crowley announced a $3 million investment in development, specifically $2.5 million of ARPA money, funds plus $500,000 in community block grants or CDBG funds to create 171 rental units. 81 of those are dedicated to affordable housing through the CDBG funding targeting residents making under $15 an hour or less. Additionally, 8 units will be reserved for veterans who earn less than 60% of the area's median income. Some of the other, this is altogether, this is a $50 million project. Mm-hmm. Other amenities that have been steady through the various points of the development include an art alleyway, playgrounds, and bike racks. Development plans call for the repurposing of 3 former Bucyrus structures, the Heritage, corporate, and technical buildings, and constructing a new 3-story building on the west side of the property. And this is all done in South Milwaukee, by the way. Brian, a lot of times we get into these conversations about infrastructure and we talk about how important it is where that money goes. Mm-hmm. It's really, really important to go into those communities that really, really need it.
Yeah.
We see so much money being dumped into the development of downtown, and that's, not always a bad thing, but we need to spread it out as well. We need to make sure we're developing in the suburbs. We're make sure we're developing up here on the north side, up and down Capitol Drive, mm-hmm. Atkinson. We need to work on all those major areas. It's great that we see this. I would just like to see it also, this kind of investment up here in our communities that we represent up here on the north end as well.
Yep. Yeah, definitely. I'm always going to push development on the north and northwest side of Milwaukee, until we start seeing more. And I do want to shout out the young developers, young Black developers, males and females, the ones that I'm familiar with, the ones I'm not familiar with, that are doing that or are pushing to bring that to Milwaukee, because that is a part, of what's going to keep not just us as local individuals wanting to bring business into our city, but people want to slide in and bring their, it's a lot of trendy companies and a lot of big businesses or big Black brands and minority brands that would love to branch out to other cities, mm-hmm. especially like a Milwaukee that has, a decent sized BIPOC and Black community. Mm-hmm. They would love to put, a business on the north or northwest side of Milwaukee, but we need to show them that we can do that by having developed areas that people will be attracted to. So yeah, thank you for that.
Right, like utilities. Let me just go in a little bit more, mm-hmm. dig in a little more, but like we've talked about utilities, curbs, gutters, sidewalks, things that make it attractive to investors, things that make it attractive to folks that want to come in and stick their money in this community, mm-hmm. whether it be a business owner or just someone wanting to develop the area. We need to be a little more proactive in making sure that our streets, our sidewalks, our gutters, all our utilities are all set up and ready to go for these investors and these developers when they do want to come in and really make an investment in this community.
Yeah, I like that. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yes, sir.
All right, cool. So what else you see on your radar? What else has been going on in your world and or just what you seen this weekend or whatever?
Yeah. So I don't know if you all saw it. I'm assuming that you did. Back in my home state of Ohio, there was a rally in Columbus over the weekend. About a dozen people in black pants, shirts, and head coverings, their faces obscured by red masks, marched along the streets near downtown Columbus as three of them carried black flags with red swastikas on them. At least one person yelled the N-word again and again, according to the video that's gathered online, obtained by let me start over. According to the video that garnered online attention far beyond Ohio's capital, the group really stirred up a hornet's nest in Columbus. Garnished a response from the mayor, from the governor. I've seen several TikToks questioning, hey, when this sort of thing happens, maybe we need to organize and follow them around. Maybe we need to let them know that these kinds of things aren't welcome in our community. This kind of language isn't welcome in our community. Brian, Jermaine, your thoughts?
Yeah. I've had one of my first interactions with somebody outside of my family with Ohio was Ohio was when I was working as a telemarketer for this company called Zentel on 76 and Capitol. They would do police athletic club calls and fire department calls. And I called this one guy in like a place in Ohio. I never knew Ohio had Southern accents until then because I was used to my family automatically having like, being from Mississippi and the ones I just thought they were already.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, right. This guy told me when I called him, he said, "Hey man, don't you ever call here again or I'm gonna hang you from a front porch." And I was like, "Oh, there it go." And that was my first experience with racism in Ohio, and that was 2004. With that being said, no, this doesn't surprise me. A friend of mine last night showed me a page of all the hate groups or different hate, documented hate. They got a nonprofit page or some page that's has all these different hate groups, and yeah, you can see all these hate groups all across the country on this one map. It's kind of crazy. The people that documented that, thank you for your courage. Does it surprise me? Nah, it don't surprise me. It sadly is just what we see, and then them, the way they were, dropping the N word, and they had guns. I think I heard.
Oh
yeah,
absolutely. So this is another thing that I don't know if these groups feel emboldened, that they feel that because of the election results or because of some of the rhetoric that's being spewed out into the media, that gives them just cause to continue these actions, or that they can be more public in the face of the public with this. But it's incumbent upon all of us that when we see injustice that we call it out, and that's one thing I think that we can do, is we can definitely denounce it and try to push it out of our communities.
I think like B said, it's not surprising. My thing is, what did authorities do about that? Did they allow them to keep marching? Who approved this stuff?
Right.
So those are the questions that need to be answered, because if this is allowed, then that speaks volumes of leadership. Speaks loud about leadership in that area.
Absolutely. I agree 100%, Jermaine. And it's an unfortunate real issue that we're going to have to face in the next few years. I think a little bit, we're going to see it a lot more with this coming out.
And it seems like every time he's in office, you have these events like that happen. Or was that in Virginia?
Virginia, yep.
And he was in office then, and now you have these marches, and there's all this stuff that's happening that's really building up to something dangerous. It's creating a narrative, because pretty soon the opposite side is going to form,
right,
and they're going to start marching,
right.
Yeah. So over the past few years, hundreds of white supremacists marches and events have been organized around the country, aiming not only to instill fear and anxiety in the communities they target, but also to serve as a photo opportunities for these groups to use their recruitment and online propaganda. That's Oren Segal, Vice President of ADL Center on Extremism. That is the Anti-Defamation League. So,
well, there's one thing with freedom of speech and exercising your First Amendment right, and there's another thing is hate speech. We need to enact some better laws throughout our states to make sure that this stuff can't go on. We have to make these anti-hate speech laws so that folks can't go marching through a crowd in a major U.S. city with swastika flags and shouting racist remarks.
Yeah.
I completely support freedom of speech, but there's got to be a limit. There's got to be a line where you can't be allowed to go out there and spread this hate. It's my opinion.
Yeah, I agree big time. And it shows. I mean, we're looking at, like you said, we don't know if it was just them doing the recruitment, trying to do some recruiting, but also, we've seen this over the years, especially since 2008 election with Obama. It was just a uprising in these type of folks. So, but we'll make sure that we get you guys any updates, and just be aware out there. Always be vigilant. People are always going to be ignorant and show their and display their ignorance. I'm just always making sure that people are just being aware and being vigilant of what's going on around you. We have some more topics also, Joe. What else has been going on? I know we've had some new picks.
A lot going
There's
on.
Been a lot going on,
going
right?
on.
I'm trying not to go into the overload.
Yeah. I tried to keep it kind of simple today, but I saw that there was the Secretary of Transportation, which is a Wisconsinite.
Yeah, don't be trying to throw that in there, Joe. I knew you was gonna say that. I was trying not to be the one to say that.
I can't say anything because the vice president elect was a senator from my home state. So
yeah. So we can go ahead and take this call real quick before we go to break. Caller, you're on the air with Be a Voice Radio, Wisconsin Voices.
Yes, sir. Should I say it's still morning?
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
It is.
Good morning, gentlemen at Wisconsin Voices.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. I just want to say thank you for being there. The ladies that we know that's not there, I just want to say good morning to them too, respectfully. But gentlemen, you was talking about what's going to be happening, what's going on right now, what's going to be happening in the future. So I appreciate that. But however, before I continue, before we go on break or something like that, do you have a veteran in the studio?
Yeah.
Yes, we do.
Yep.
What's his name?
My name's Joe.
Hey, Joe.
Yes, sir.
United States Navy, sir.
Yeah, you got it right. U.S. Navy.
Hey, United States Navy. I'm just messing. But back in the days, we used to call United States Navy, sir. Scrub-a-dub-dub, 3 squids in a tub.
I haven't been called a squid in probably 15 years.
That goes back, I guess, when your grandfather served in the military or Navy or whatever. But anyway, Joe, I just want to say, I tried to call on Monday, but I couldn't get through. But saying to all my veterans out there, I missed Monday on Veterans Day. To all my veterans out there, regardless of who you are, where you are, what gender you are. If you served in the United States military, thank you for your service.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah. And excuse me, I served in the Marine Corps of Vietnam.
Okay.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Wow.
Wounded and stuff like that, came back home. I'm not going to go there because, if I go there, I'll be talking all day long, all year long. But anyway, sir, hey, Joe, I just want to say, sir, thank you for your service. And gentlemen in the studio, man, if y'all not military veterans and stuff like that, you got somebody in the family that is.
Yeah, we do. Definitely, I do. Thank you to all the veterans, and thank you to all the veterans in my family as well.
Yep, okay, sure. Excuse me before I go quickly, I just want to say to Jermaine.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for being there, sir. And what we say, Jermaine?
You got to tell it like it is. Tell it like it is.
Tell it like it is.
Yes, sir.
But anyway, when you, I know you're getting ready to go on commercial right now, but when you come back, would you please explain to me that the people that voted for, like Tina, and especially like Tina X, and some of our black people and stuff like that, and Joe, hey man, come on now. We have some white people did it too, but would y'all explain to me why Donald Trump is president? Like I don't know, right? I'd like to hear your opinions.
I would definitely love to dig into that one. We'll get to that right after the break.
And thank you. Thank everybody there. Okay, y'all
got a clip we need to find. That's real too. Thank you for calling. Well, that's real. Hey, check this out. We got a lot of great topics today. Hopefully we can get these things in. We are on Be a Voice Radio with Wisconsin Voices. You got Brian and Joe in here. We got Carvey P. We got Jermaine and the whole crew. We'll be right back. So, like we said, we got a lot of topics to hit, and I know he just asked us a question, and we don't got to stay too long on it, but I do want Joe to follow up with that that topic and bring it in for us, reel it in, and what do you see, Joe, as far as one of the things that is an issue with the loss of Kamala Harris in that election?
And this is just one person's view. I mean, right. You can break it down, like Brian said. There's probably dozens of reasons why the election went the way it did. The most prevalent one in my mind is the Democratic Party forgot the working class this election cycle. There were millions of working class families that just didn't believe that the Democratic path was better than the Republican path. And you could see that in a lot of the exit polls. Again, it goes back to the fact, well, if they're rich, I'm going to get rich too. And I just, history doesn't state that, but I think a lot of it was they forgot the working class. There were some unions that had never endorsed a Republican before that had switched and went to a Republican and endorsed him this year. That should have been some red flags thrown up right there.
Yeah.
But there were so many different reasons across the board. I think you could break each state down and go into each county, and there's probably reasons in each county throughout the state as to why that state went the direction that it did. One report that I saw today was that the swing to the right was not as big in Wisconsin as it was in other states. So we didn't see that huge shift. Although, we did see a shift. It wasn't as massive as it was in some of the other states. So maybe that's a bit of good news. I don't know, but that's my opinion. I'm sure everyone has their own opinion. I'm sure the Harris campaign has their own reasoning and as to why they failed to win that election. But I'd love to hear everybody else's opinions.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, like you said, they were sold that dream, and a lot of those people know that dream may not align with them at the moment, and it probably won't align with them 4 years from now, especially the ones that will be directly affected by immigration, directly affected by the loss of benefits, services, state services, federal services that will come with, your decision that you chose in whatever state that you live in, and whoever that you are loving on or, raised you or whoever, and you will see them being affected by those results. We already see it already.
Yeah.
What they say yesterday, the first group that possibly could get, I was looking at articles saying how Chinese immigrants are starting to prepare for possible deportation, since they, not only has he said that it will be a national emergency, so he can use and exhaust all options and funds that he could possibly get his hands on, but he will also be going after that group first. Yeah,
first,
possibly.
That means there's more down the line.
As you see, right? You said first,
and he just confirmed, I think yesterday, that they're going to be the criminal, illegal immigrants, or they're the ones that are here undocumented, that have committed crimes, are going to be the first to go. And then obviously, what's next?
Yeah.
We heard the horrible term anchor baby, I think back in 2016, 2020. We were hearing a lot about that. And those are the children that were born here, but their parents weren't here legally, but the parents were allowed to stay because their child was a U.S. citizen.
Yeah.
That goes away. Then what?
That's really common, actually.
And not only that, how far does that extend down?
That's even the basis of a lot of shows we watch. Some of these reality shows got a lot of anchor babies. These guys, having these, women or men coming from overseas. But I mean, that is, a foundation of a corner foundation of United States is, the people that have came here and had a child, raised a child, their children have had kids, and this has been going on for a long periods of time. So you're looking at generations of people,
right? And how far back does it go? I mean, how far back are we going to go? Let's say you've been here, you're of a different national origin, and you've been here for 2 or 3 generations, but somewhere down the line, maybe your grandfather didn't have his proper documents or something. is that going to reflect? Are they going to go down the whole list now and say, well, since he wasn't here legally, then that means you are here
and that's what I was thinking.
As well.
Right. So that means your whole last 3 generations.
Correct. And as someone with my grandson and soon to be my second grandson, both are half Hispanic. Yeah. So it makes me wonder, are my grandkids going to get deported?
All right.
I served in the United States Navy. I've been a U.S. citizen all my life. Are they going to go because of their ancestry or their heritage? It's just one of those things that kind of keeps you up at night, and you think it's a far gone dream, and you start to hear the rhetoric and you start to see the legislation or the plans being drafted, and you're like, this is scary.
Yeah, I agree.
I just have a quick question. Where are they going to send all of these people, and how would you know what country they are from? Because if they're undocumented,
right?
Well, like how can you say that they're from Mexico or that this
person's
from Cuba?
That might be a good defense. It's just don't say anything, and then they'd be like, "We don't know where to send."
Yeah, you don't know where to send them. Like, how you gonna?
Right.
That's crazy.
It's just, it shows that it would be exhausted amounts of time, effort, resources, federal dollars to do this, because you would have to find somebody to work that just alone.
Well, I'm going to tell you exactly where that's going to come from,
because make any sense.
He did it in his first administration, and that's he reallocated funds from the Pentagon and from the Department of Defense to strictly to impose immigration and to expel the immigrants. So he's also said multiple times that they're going to use the full force of the United States to do these deportations.
Yeah, he's going to use the military.
And they're very clear that they intend to use the military.
And that's crazy. Can you imagine?
It's unconstitutional.
Sitting right here at the station and seeing the military going up down the street, going door to door, the houses to see.
The similarities between now and 1938 or 1939 Germany are very similar.
Yeah.
And that's not going out on a ledge.
I've seen that.
I wouldn't have said that 2 or 3 years ago. But like Jermaine said, if you have military walking through your neighborhoods looking for people, asking for papers, what does that sound like?
And what if you don't have the papers?
Right.
Do they take you in and hold you until they find out who you are? And then, like, how long will that take?
That's when they would probably try to detain individuals and make them show proof, especially if they don't have any proof that they're a natural citizen, a natural,
But do you know how many families right now, some that came over here to just get a whole way better life, and now they're on eggshells because can you imagine thinking, hey, I'm going to lose my mother. She's going to be deported. I'm going to lose my sister. I'm going to lose my brother. Or I might be deported.
Right.
And you get up every day. You go to work. You pay taxes. You've had Christmas and Thanksgiving for years in the United States. And now it's on the edge of and he's already saying that he is putting things into motion so they can start making that happen as soon as he transitions.
Exactly. We kept hearing this where the Trump administrator, the Trump campaign was trying to separate themselves from Project 2025 while they were on the campaign trail. And it wasn't long after the election. You start looking at their policy, you start looking at their plan, and it's like, this is textbook Project 2025.
And they said it after that. They said that soon as they got elected, then they said that, we just have to back away from for a second. No, that's still the plan.
Right.
All that we talk about on here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, unless you were so far right that you just don't look at what the others, that you don't look at what your side is doing, you just so blinded, either way, you got to look at both ends. You just can't be, gun ho far left
100%,
or can't be gun ho far right and not trying to figure out if the side that you are going for, left or right, is doing the proper things for the people.
Right.
So do I believe that those folks could possibly have those extreme blinders on? Yeah, we seen it. We know that for a fact.
I know folks that do.
Yeah.
personally know folks that have those blinders on.
Yeah.
What can you do? You know, but there's not much you can do to save them. Like you said, they're blinders. No matter what kind of evidence you throw in the front of their face, they're blind to the facts.
Yeah.
But yeah, man.
All right. So that was wrapping up a little bit about that time. On a lighter note, what I thought was funny was that the day after the election, you did see the 435% increase on the internet and how to change my vote. How to change my votes.
I did see that,
and it kept going up and down for a few days after, where people were, I guess, having buyer's remorse in the election, and somewhere in the space of their vote, they felt, you know, what they did was, you know, maybe they thought it was a joke, or they just, you know, reality sunk in when they really got home. They thought maybe, you know, one party had the advantage and their vote was going to go the way it was supposed to go. Either way, it was going to, you know.
Well, here's what really scares me, Brian.
People don't.
Sorry, didn't mean to cut you.
No, you good. Go ahead.
But here's what really bothers me is what I think it is.
What's up?
Is folks didn't do all their homework prior to the election.
Yeah.
And once the election happened, you start digging into the policies a little bit. Well, that's the person that got elected. Let's see what he's really about. And then it's like, oh no. I didn't know that. Real, right. I didn't know that. But how many times did Wisconsin Voices get on here and say, research your candidates, research your issues, know who your candidates are, know what they stand for, know what they're about.
Yeah. It's not a game.
It's not a game.
It is not a game.
And I think we're all about to find out over the course of the next 4 years that is not. It's not a game.
So, and that's the thing. The individuals that they thought this, you know, he wrapped this in this goofy, you know, playful out dance. He wants to play and do all these, you know, sexual gestures and all, you know, make fun of different groups of disabled individuals and, you know, the women, the remarks against women, you know, all the
remarks about Proud Boys
and all the stuff that he's done. And then you think it's funny, comical, and it's humorous at that moment, but then you don't really see behind that, you know, if they always say they got this one like tinted color lens. I heard that the military use it. I don't know for sure, but I guess it's this type of red that you can put over, and they say you can see different types of energy when you put this little red lens over. Have you ever heard this before?
Never heard.
But as it says, this red lens, and they said when you put something over it, you can see what the naked eye can't see. You can see like all different types of energy and auras around folks and stuff in the air. It's like, okay, yeah, you take that, put that lens over, you see that you're dealing with a true monster and a true cabinet of groups of monsters that are going to show you what it is. And that's not going to just be, you know, like I said, you know, you can see who we're trying to get out there and exercise and promote, you know, what the results could be if it went one way, and now we're seeing it, you know, and it's going to be in full effect, and there's a lot of comments being made, a lot of pictures. I mean, the one picture we seen the other day with him on a private jet eating McDonald's, I was like, okay.
And me being, you know, you and I are like these a little bit more holistic eaters. We may go out on the limb with a little bit of candy, but for the most part, I think we try to eat as healthy as we can. We do.
Okay, so, we slip up a little bit, but we do a pretty good job for the most part.
To me, thinking about McDonald's sometimes just kind of makes me a little physically ill.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of McDonald's, but
you seen that picture?
I did see the picture, and I saw it with a meme with the Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, with him trying to. I think he was in the background trying to pop in the picture. So
there
was a whole meme about that. Somebody that just wants a spot.
Yeah, right. Look at me. Look, I'm on the jet.
I'm his friend. I'm his friend.
I told you. Look, he was for the friends. I told you I was gonna get in.
Yeah, right. It
looks like we got a call, Joe.
All he had to do is bring McDonald's.
Right. You're on the air with Be a Voice Radio, Wisconsin Voices 860.
Man, this stuff has just been picking at my brain, man. Because Brian, man, Joe. Good morning, man. I mean, man, it's mind-boggling, man. What's up, man, Carvey? What's up, man, Right Up?
Yo, what's going on?
What's up, man, Milwaukee? Tyrone W. speaking.
Tyrone
and
W.
the ladies, vacationing, Latoya and Tamika vacationing, Thanksgiving already in the kitchen. Carving on the turkey. There you go, man. They carving on.
Matter of fact, Tamika had a birthday yesterday, so happy belated to Tamika.
Yeah, happy belated, Tamika.
Thank you. Yeah. We talked about Barada yesterday, but I mean, just look. What do you do when you empty out the Monopoly box? You got all the houses and properties and stuff there. You got all the cars and the boot and the star and the shoe and everything else and all this stuff. The railroad tracks and the whole Monopoly board. Which is corporation. Mm-hmm. Now, 2025. I mean, look here. If you don't give people a livable wage there, and I know everything is supply on demand and everything, but look here. If you don't put the money in the hands for the people to buy the supply is going to be backed up and on lockdown in all the markets. So I don't understand why big corporation isn't going to Washington, D.C. saying, look here, you've got to make sure that you're not messing with our overhead and our products because we need people to buy our products. And if that's not happening, the whole market shuts down, just like you see with the, when the ships, all the vessels, the containers were stacking up at the,
shipping yards.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right. All that there, the transport and the supply chain gets locked down when the products aren't selling. Mm-hmm. So if you empty out the Monopoly box there and the oligarchs have all the money and the big corporations got all the products and everything, and we ain't got no money to buy nothing with, well, the rich people, they got everything already. So, they're not going to, it's just mind-boggling to me that, you would take a big clog of the wheel out of circulation, which is us, and you just got the people with all the money, and then you've got the big corporation with all the products, and you're basically shutting down your country.
Right.
I don't understand that. I don't understand what government would allow that to take place, to allow a man to put something in place there that's really going to shut down your whole line of business, your supermarkets and all that stuff there where people have to buy their toothpaste, toilet paper, deodorant, all that stuff. Everything is going to be on lockdown if you don't give people a livable wage. It's just like, okay, I've got the whole Monopoly box. I've got the money. I've got everything, the rules and everything. You don't get nothing. That's not how God intended it to be, man. But I'm gonna let y'all chop it up. But it's just mind-boggling to me that if the United States government allows this to happen, then I just say we deserve what we get as a country, coming down the pike. Then.
Oh wow!
All right.
Thank you. He's not wrong, Brian. And one way that we see the government sometimes to try to slow down inflation, they're not going to jump. Especially right now with the way inflation was, and it's starting to level out a little bit more. They start putting money back in the hands of folks, and you're going to have runaway inflation because everyone's going to go out and spend it. But he's not wrong. He's not wrong at all. When folks have money in their pocket, they're going to buy products. Think about how many stimulus checks we've gotten. What was the point of those stimulus checks? So we would go out and spend them and generate and start to really get the economy going. It helped boost the economy. But when you see the deflation, what happened when you see the government trying to bring down inflation, folks lose jobs, folks go on unemployment, the wages don't go up, but prices do.
Yeah.
And I think with the tariffs coming in, we're definitely going to see a price hike. Are wages going to stay the same? I don't know. That again, it's about the working class folks. This is where it goes back to the working class folks, the folks that do go out and buy those, the big products for their homes, like refrigerators, stoves, washers, dryers, buys clothes and just a number of things for their home or whatever in their everyday life. That generates the economy. That keeps things moving. And the more money that we have in our pocket, the more we're able to spend.
Yeah.
And the more taxes we're able to pay as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Good topic right there. Appreciate that, Tyrone W. All right. One more, let me take one more break, huh? Before we go on break, looks like we had another loss of a restaurant of fan for our burger folks. Looks like Oscar's out there tragically went up in flames last night. Another place that people like to go get burgers. I just wanted to reach out to my big back people in the city of Milwaukee. I know y'all like a good burger and beer, burger and shake. So we get back. We'll talk about a few little local topics, and then we'll just see what happened with Biden allowing Ukraine to use some of these long-range missiles. And a couple community topics after that. You're on Be a Voice Radio with Wisconsin Voices, 860 WNOV. On 860 on the flow, yeah. Never knew I was gonna do this on the mic, yeah. We back.
All right.
Yeah.
A little freestyling going.
I have to watch myself. You mess around and slip one up and be like,
right.
Why? So the FCC won't let me be me. So let me see. I got in trouble one time for cursing in the back, and I paid for that one, so I don't be dropping them no more. Them freestyles got me in trouble back at 96, 95. When my freestyles at Mobile's gas station, they was getting gas, and I slipped up and dropped some words that I ain't supposed to be dropping at 8 years old. We just came from my sister's birthday party. I was in the back freestyling. Well, I thought I was freestyling. And they said they got my you know what when we get home, and they showed it. I learned to freestyle around my friends after that. What the parents said, what the kid, what the adults said. All right, cool, we can drop one. All right. I know we were just finishing up, just talking about, just tariffs and stuff. And thank you again, Joe, for breaking that down for the people and, how that could. And again, Tyrone W. for calling in as well. It looks like another decision has been made. I'm sure we'll see some more decisions being made in the next couple months or so with the transition of powers during administrations. But it looks like Biden's decision to allow use of longer range weapons. And what does this mean for us? And in the United States with this change of this ballistic missile, or this not ballistic missile, of this long range missile that can go about 160 miles from what I've seen earlier when I was looking. So what have you seen with that?
Yeah, it like you said, it goes about 300 kilometers into Russia. It's the first time that United States weapons have been used inside of Russia. It's the first time that we've actually allowed them to use it. From what I understand, it's just in the Kursk regions. Forgive me if I didn't pronounce that right.
Yeah.
Just in one of the regions of Russia. They can't quite reach Moscow, but we have seen that the Ukrainians can reach out and touch Moscow if they need to via drone attacks and such. What this means, it's a little frightening, I think, on the world stage as far as international politics go, because Russia has recently revised their nuclear doctrine to include that pretty much if they feel a threat by any other nation, they're allowed to use nuclear weapons now. Whether they're going to do that, whether that's a ploy or whether they want to use tactical nukes, which are really a lot smaller nuclear weapons.
Yeah.
I think we're going to see a response from Vladimir Putin. I don't think he's going to sit back and take it. He's going to seize the opportunity, if anything, to issue some bellicose rhetoric out of Russia and try to use it again. This opportunity against the United States.
Yeah.
Regardless of which way you feel on the war in Ukraine. It's a touchy situation when you're dealing with a nation that has the nuclear capabilities that Russia does. And they've been bogged down. I think they said it hasn't entered its 1,000th day now of war between Russia and Ukraine. So this has been prolonged for quite a while. I don't know. I just it makes me a little uneasy, Brian, when the world's largest nuclear power is sitting there and we allow them to be struck with our missiles. To me, that sounds like it could warrant in their minds some retaliation.
Does it feel a little reckless to you? I mean, as far as the choice, I mean, I know we've been supporting them.
I think it was strategic. Yeah. I think the timing was strategic because I don't know exactly how Donald Trump's going to handle that whole situation.
To try to clear it up once, the transition.
Right. And we've known that him and Vladimir Putin have had a relationship in the past. So it makes you think that maybe the administration won't be so supportive of Ukraine. Trump has also said multiple times that he doesn't want to send any more money there. He feels like it could be used somewhere else on America first. So we'll wait and see what happens there. But I think it was a strategic time because the Biden administration knows that his time's kind of running out to really make any actual impacts, and hoping to give, I think, Vladimir Zelensky a little more time or a little more of an advantage before there could be a possible withdrawal of support.
Yeah. I mean, I was looking at, even though it has drawn a furious response from Moscow, they said it has been no immediate reaction from Vladimir Putin in Russia, but some lawmakers who are aligned with him did say that that Monday that the move was unacceptable and it could lead into a third world war. So, I mean, we do see that. And we've been, of course, that's been some mentions. We want to stay far as away from that as possible. Yeah. I know too that it was pretty much bound to happen where the United States was going to up the ante. I mean, they've been already delivering hundreds of millions of dollars every few weeks or months, like it was the lottery anyway. So like it was just.
And again, my concern is the same as I think everyone at Wisconsin voices, and that is I want to see some investment in our communities first. Yeah, I really do. I understand the importance of that, but I would love to see the billions and billions, and I think we may even be over $1 trillion now that we've sent there, and how much good that could have done here in the United States. And when we hear the arguments, especially from the right side of the aisle, that we can't afford health care and we can't afford universal health care, we can't afford to free education, we can't afford to invest in our prison system so that we can rehabilitate prisoners instead of just locking them up like animals. It's kind of frustrating.
Yeah.
Because I know the cost, I know what some of these missiles cost, what some of these some of this stuff costs. It's just ridiculous. And the amount of good that could be done for the amount of bad that's being done. I think it's a no-brainer for me. But
you launching 5 missiles, you can clear out, a few thousand tuitions.
We could probably pave Capitol Drive from here all the way to Tosa.
Oh yeah, no doubt. Yeah. So on a lighter note, just ending the conversation about the world, and we do want to circle back and bring it local real quick. So 3 Wisconsin cities were named among the most livable in the U.S. And let's see what cities make the list. So this is from Rent Cafe. Rent Cafe evaluated 139 U.S. metros across 3 main categories of socioeconomics, quality of life, location, and community. So each city was based on an overall score based on their factors and of like cost of living, unemployment, commute times, access to physical exercise opportunities, arts, recreations, etc. All 3 Wisconsin cities on the list ranked among the top 15.
Wow.
So let's go ahead and hear these cities. First up on the list, Milwaukee, number 6. The Milwaukee-Waukesha metro area ranked 6 on the list, scoring particularly well for its green spaces and fitness opportunities. In the quality of life category, Milwaukee was placed fourth out of 139 cities. That's because of the study found more than 96% of the Milwaukee area residents have access to exercise opportunities, and more than 80% of residents are physically active. So look at that, y'all. We are active, or we can be active. We just got to get out here. I know I'm active. I know a lot of y'all get out here and y'all driving around, running in and out of places. But use these parks. Take advantage of these parks. The other 2 we have are Green Bay. Green Bay was affordability, cost of living, as far as location. And, of course, it has community and for art, recreation, venues, etc. And then Madison was the third one on the list at number 12, and it rounded out of Wisconsin cities overall 12, and that was the cost of living at 5% higher than the national average. Oh, even though it was 5% higher than national average, the location for this was just because a lot of the same things. It was memberships for social organizations and community organizations, which we are expanding in Madison. Yeah. So I'd love to hear this. And it looks like we're gonna have to make some trips up to Green Bay too to expand as well. But Madison is looking big on the social organization tips. So Milwaukee and a few other cities are looking good, and we're gonna keep continuously making Milwaukee great, not just for the metro area. I mean, not just for the county, but the whole metro area, north and northwest side included. You were here with Brian and
Joe,
and we are finished with Be a Voice Radio for this Tuesday morning. God bless y'all. Have a great day. 860 WNOV.